what we're going to do today, and we'll just move on to the second slide. Thank you. With the way we work is we've got a brilliant events team, which Podrick's leading this morning, and he's operating the slides for us. So when you see me saying next slide, please, you know what's happening. So as I mentioned, just to begin with, we always get people to share who they are in the chat. And that's because at the core of what we do, we're about connecting. So if we can help connect you virtually by sharing social media handles, by your LinkedIn profiles, by any contact details, then that's something that we'll do every time. And it means that you can connect after these sessions. We're then going to spend the next while talking about women in business, what you can expect of your membership and what's coming up over the next few months. And then at the end, we will be doing some speed networking. And I don't want anyone to feel afraid of that. It's going to just be a really lovely informal session to get to know some of the people on today's call a bit better. At any time, if you have any questions, please use the chat and we will answer those questions, and then we'll also pause along the way. So I'll get started. Next slide, please, Podrick. So at Women in Business, as you'll know, we are here to provide you with the support, skills and connections you need to either start and grow a business or achieve success in your career, whatever that might mean to you. And we know we have women at all stages of their career, starting off, but also in the later stages too. And we're here for women of all ages and all stages. Thanks, Podrick. And what you might not know is that Women in Business is part of a much bigger group. And actually, we have been going for 21 years. So we'll be celebrating our 21st anniversary in October with a gala lunch on the 13th of October. So we're a not-for-profit organisation. And as part of the group, we also have Diversity Mark. So Diversity Mark is the accreditation body for diversity and inclusion in the workplace. And Diversity Mark has been with us now for about 6 years. And then most recently, in January of this year, we launched Timely Careers. And Timely Careers is a platform for women in particular who are looking for work in a way that works for them. So typically part-time, flexible, anything that's not the traditional Monday to Friday 9 till 5. And on the Timely Careers website, you can register and you'll find a platform of jobs that meet those criteria. So we're working with employers and with women. So that is part of our existing group. We also, within the Women in Business family, have our Centre of Learning, which you'll hear more about later, and that provides the training and programs that so many of you benefit from. And we really are a diverse membership. Our members come from every sector. We've got over 8,000 members. And at our heart, it's really about driving inclusive economic growth. So we want to create a society where women are able to contribute in their own way at every level. Thanks, Podrick. So we are also a growing team, and I'm delighted that there's about 8 of us on the call today. And I'm going to ask some of my colleagues on here now just to say hello and say a little bit about themselves and how you might interact with them. So I'll start with Denise.
Okay, hi, welcome everyone this morning. Delighted to be here. As Lorraine said, my name is Denise Black and I'm the director for the Centre of Learning. I joined about 6 or 7 months ago after a long career, I'll just say, I'm not saying how many years, in the private and public sector in HR and in training and development. So really delighted to join the great team you'll hear from in a few minutes. And as Lorraine said, the Centre of Learning currently is in under the Women in Business, but the plans, exciting plans for next year is that the Centre of Learning is going to come out as a standalone arm, as it were, within Women in Business. So we have some fantastic programs Nikki's going to talk through in a couple of minutes, but there will be more to come. So we're very excited to hear from you later on, potentially about ones that you currently think are fantastic and any that we could actually build specifically for you as well. So that's all from me. I'll pass over.
Thanks, Denise. And Roisin.
Yes, good morning everybody and welcome this morning. So yeah, I'm Roisin McDermott and I run all the things to do with entrepreneurship, which is a big fancy word, and I know a lot of people don't really identify with that, but it could be you have a side hustle, you're trying to turn a hobby into business, you're a business owner, you're self-employed, you're a freelancer. Whereas I used to say I was 14 years self-employed, and I used to think for 5 years I said, we'll just do a wee bit of freelance work. So we're not very good at using the words that sort of sell ourselves. So entrepreneurship is all of those things and everything in between. And I know as well, there's a lot of members who are in corporates, who are employees, but who also have little things going on, or little things they want to develop in the future, or you maybe don't always want to be an employee. So hopefully some of the things that we run as well, you're very welcome to come to. So really, I will talk a little bit about our Yes You Can program on one of the slides. But really, anything to do with entrepreneurships, any events that are relevant, I'm behind of all of those. And if you ever want to just connect and have a one-to-one chat, just to see how we can help you, or how you can avail of some of the things going on, or to feed into your ideas and what we're doing, then I'd love to talk to you.
Brilliant. Thanks, Roisin. And Nikki.
Hi everyone, it is lovely to see all of you. So my name is Nikki. I am an avid TV series lover, and I have a nosy little dog who normally makes an appearance, hopefully not today. I am the head of programs and development. So really passionate about all things training and development to really help you at all stages of your career or business journey, to help you grow personally and professionally. So I will let you know a little bit more about some of the training that we have, but it's great to see you all here.
Thanks, Nikki. And Christine.
Hi everyone, Christine here. I'm the head of corporate at Women in Business. It's a lovely role that I've had since September, when I returned from my second mat leave, and I work 3 days a week, so I have a nice balance. So yeah, I look after all of the corporate organisations that join us as members. So as Lorraine mentioned at the start there, we have excuse me, about 8,000 members. So roughly half of those individuals work for organisations that have joined us as a member. So companies can join us themselves, any size of organisation. We've got a really wide range of organisations from all sectors that have joined us as group, corporate and partner members. So I get to meet lots of amazing people on my journeys and travels, and get to see lots of really lovely workspaces. So yeah, I know that from the attendees on the event today, there's a good few of you that work for our corporate members. So I look forward to connecting and hopefully get to chat to you in some of the breakout rooms. And you're all very welcome today.
Thanks, Christine. And Jill.
Morning all. So I'm Jill Hughes. I'm the Operations Engagement Manager. So I'm here for all things individual membership within Women in Business. Looking at the attendee list this morning, I've probably already spoken to most of you via email or in person with different membership queries, but I also look after the operational side of things. So for example, with all our big conferences and awards, I'm here to help with any booking inquiries when you're looking at these type of events, and I also look after all the finance end of things. So if you ever have a query about your membership payments or an invoice for an event, etc., please don't hesitate to give me a wee shout.
Thanks, Jill. And Maria.
Morning everyone. So I am Maria. I know quite a few people on here actually, and it's great to see so many familiar and new faces. So I support with the programs in Centre of Learning, and I also support with entrepreneurship within Women in Business. And it is such a privilege and an honour to be able to help women, whether it's in business or developing in their career. I also help with the Young Women's Network, which is really rewarding as well. So if anybody would like to get involved with any of those things, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Thanks, Maria. And Margarita.
Yep, so my name is Margarita McNally. I am the Senior Marketing Executive at Women in Business. I've been with the team for just over 3 years, and my role involves all things email marketing, website content creation and social media, some of which I can help you with to help promote your profile across the network. And I'll be explaining that a bit further down the slides.
Thank you, Margarita. So you've met most of us. On the slide as well, you'll see Adam Martin, who's not able to be here today. He's the newest member of the team, and he's our membership coordinator. And Roseanne Kelly, who'll be known to a lot of you, who is the chief exec of the whole Women in Business group. But really, I think what you could see from that is the enthusiasm. We're all so passionate about our work here at Women in Business, and there's someone here for you all. So yeah, delighted that we can present ourselves to you today. And yes, we've got a question there. Can we get the slides emailed? Absolutely. And we'll also send a link to this as well. Next slide, please, Padraig. Okay, I'm going to hand over to Margarita now, who's going to take you through some practical things so that you can make the most of your membership.
Yep, so I'm going to take you through a key feature, and that is our membership dashboard, which is your go-to place to make the most of your membership. Now, bear with me as I do the hardest part of my job today, and that is sharing the screen. So hopefully you can see that there now. And there we go. So you're all here today, so you know how to get logged into your accounts, which is always a good start. But just for a wee reminder, when you log in, you'll see all these smiling faces on screen, and you'll go to the top right-hand corner of the website and get yourself logged in. And if you're ever coming back from some post-holiday brain, don't forget you can always click in here if you forget your password, and we can get it reset for you at any time. So don't be shy to do that. Adam, who's off today, he'll absolutely love that I'm promoting that feature. He might come back to a few emails in his inbox requesting new passwords, so don't tell him I said that. So when you get logged in, you'll be presented to the dashboard. And the key areas on this is where you can view all your upcoming booked events and programs. You can notice I'm talking away while my internet's buffering for it to load, so bear with me. And another area of the dashboard is our members directory. So I'll go through here. So you can view any upcoming events coming. So I know myself, I've got the Young Women's Network coming up in 22 days. A great event you can share with any daughters or nieces or colleagues. And then you can view on the right-hand side any upcoming programs or events that might be of interest for you to have a little look at. So when I go back out here, I'll show you maybe the best feature, in my opinion, is our members directory, where you can connect with other members just to form a connection over email or LinkedIn. So if you go to the magnifying glass, you can search all the members in the network by name, organization, or even sector. So if you're ever thinking, you know, you might need a new accountant, you can have a little nosy, and we'll bring up all the email addresses of people in the network who you connect with. Or if you're ever thinking, who was that woman talking today? She had a funny name, would love to know more about marketing. You can type in by organization, and you can find some of the team here for our email address to follow up after. So we can go back out into the dashboard. And another area that's of use is the area to update your membership details, which is along the left-hand side. If you give it a little scroll, you can go to edit account. And in here, you can update any personal details you might want to change. So for example, you might want to add a wee profile picture for a wee personal touch, or maybe you got married over the summer and need to change your surname. That's always a tricky one for Jill when we're finding out the memberships with all the name changes throughout the network. Or even better, if you didn't get married, maybe you got a job promotion, you can update this and keep your profile up to date at all times. And if you ever need to maybe remove yourself from the directory for whatever reason, you can always go into your privacy details and click exclude from directory. But we'll try not to do that and keep the connections going. So when we go back out into the dashboard, you can also make the most of our news and events section. So if you scroll down again to the left-hand side, you can click submit news or events. And this is where you can upload any relevant good news stories or events coming up into either form. So part of your membership benefits is that we can share your upcoming news or events on the membership news section of our website. But before that, you need to go in and pop in your details, you know, like your text and image and any supporting links that we can help to spread the word. And then once a month, I'll go in here and review the content and then upload it to our website. So it's always important to note, if you maybe have an event coming up, give us about 6 weeks notice and we can make the most of getting that out there to everyone. And then we upload it in here to our news and resources into our member news. So it's always good to have a wee look in there to see what's going on throughout the network. And I just want to show you some areas of the website then that are useful when you are logged in, and that can be on the What's On page. So whenever you are logged in, you can view at a glance what events are free to you as a member, or even what programs are discounted as a member too. So for example, you can see that the Just Connect London Dairy event coming up in September can be free to attend, a nice in-person networking event. Or you can see that there is an £80 membership price for programs coming up. So Nikki will love that wee promotion for Excel's Essentials, and she'll tell you more all about that later. And then another great wee hidden gem on the website is exploring our past events. So if you go into the 3 lines here at the top right hand corner, you can go into What's On, and then you can go into past events. So when you're logged into your account, you can view any previous webinars we have, which is always good to catch up on in your own time with, a cup of coffee, or when you're ticking off them admin to-do tasks in the background. We actually had a great event there in June on optimizing your LinkedIn. So you can always go in there and check up on what was all involved there. So if you scroll down to the bottom, we upload in that order. It's probably sitting right in front of me. There we go. So if you click in there, you'll see the webinar recording just at the bottom of your page, and you can watch in your own time. So it is important to note that we don't record all webinars, but the ones that we do record, we upload within about 48 hours. Just depends how quickly me and Padraig can get around to it, but we do try our best, and that's such a great tool that you can spread the word on to make the most of. So I will just return to our slides here. And don't forget, if you ever have any questions on your membership, you can always reach out to the team at info@womeninbusinessni.com. So I hope you haven't got too bored of my voice just yet, because I have one more slide to go, and that is the promotional opportunities that are free of charge to you as a member. And this involves, as I mentioned, our members' news and events. We also like to share this within our monthly email newsletter, which we call our Easing, which goes out to approximately 11,000 subscribers, a really engaged audience and a great way to keep up to date with the network. And I can just show you an example of June there. We highlight everything that's going on within the network and, of course, any member news. So do get involved in that whenever you can. And we also love to shout about our members on our social media. And we have an audience of 65,000, so plenty of eyes to get watching and to spread the word on anything interesting you have coming up. We do this through member profiles or member blogs, which is a great, nice personal way to raise your professional profile across the network, or to maybe promote your business, or just to win some brownie points really with your marketing team. It's always a great way. To get involved in this then, you can email me and I can send out a Google link where you'll just pop in your details, and I can help to create the profile for you. We upload this onto our website, and then we share throughout our social media every Monday whenever we're trying our best. So it's quite a busy schedule, so do make the most of it if you can. And we find that it's a lovely personal touch to getting the word out there about yourself, rather than like a cold hard sell. So for example, if I show you Shirley Blair here, now Shirley is a lawyer, and she uses her profile as a great way to highlight how her company get involved with diversity and inclusion through their diversity mark. And, it's a great wee reminder of how, Shirley's not just a corporate robot lawyer, and that she enjoys a bit of Harry Styles like the rest of us. So do try to get involved in a profile when you can, or if profile's not your thing, you can give a blog a go. So if I click in here, we go. I'm just moving my mouse around so I can see properly. News and resources blog. Blogs are a great way then to share any expert opinions you might have, or any of advice. We actually have content call out for our our autumn blogs, and I'll pop in a little expression of interest linked into the chat if you ever want to get involved with that. So other than that, that is the main bit of information from me. I'll hopefully see you in a speed networking breakout room if you have any more questions. So I'm just going to hand you back over to Lorraine and Padraig, and I'll chat to you soon.
Thank you, Margarita. I hope that really gives you a sense of just some of the amazing profile opportunities we offer. And I always say that membership is a little bit like a gym membership. You get out of it what you put in. So if you engage with us, if you share your news, your events, your profile of yourself, you attend the events, you really get the most out of your membership. So we'd really encourage you to do that. At the heart of what we do is a calendar of events, and you'll find all of this on our website now. What we've got on this slide is just some of the ones that are coming up over the next few weeks, including the Women Makers Roundtable. So we run online roundtables once a month, and they bring together women who work together in a particular sector. What you often find with our events is you can come to an event and you can be chatting to someone who's perhaps an entrepreneur, and also someone who's an accountant, and someone who works in HR. What's different about the roundtables is that what brings the women together is that they're all working in the same space. So it offers a slightly different type of networking than our traditional Just Connect networking sessions. So in August, we will be bringing together women makers, so creators, crafters. You might make things with your hands or you might source, but those people in that creative space, and we'll be bringing them together online in August. As mentioned by Maria before, we also have our Young Women's Network, who will be coming together on the 17th of August, and standing out from the crowd is the theme of the next event. That's face-to-face in Belfast, and the Young Women's Network is open to everyone under 28. And we're also having a summer social. So if you're here today, we would love to meet you in person at our summer social. It's going to be at River House in Belfast. We're hoping that the weather will be beautiful and we'll be on the terrace, but if we're not, we'll get a cover and we'll be inside. But that's just really an opportunity for some very informal networking, some chats and drinks, and the opportunity to meet other members while the weather is still good. And then we have got the first of our Just Connect series of morning networking events kicking off in Derry, Londonderry in September. So a real mix. And through your membership, these are all free for you to attend. And there's a whole host of other events now live for you to register for on our website. Thanks, Padraig. As well as our monthly events, and we probably have 4 or 5 monthly events every month. We also run conferences and awards, and some of these we're really famous for, and you may have attended in the past. So this is our schedule for the next 12 months, just about. So we're kicking off our next big event in October. I mentioned earlier on that we'll be celebrating 21 years of women in business in October, and we are having our chairs lunch, a gala lunch at Titanic Belfast to celebrate that on the 13th of October. In February, we will be having our 7th Women in Tech conference live at Titanic Belfast. And in March, we'll be having our 12th Women in Business Awards at the Crowne Plaza Hotel. We'll then be having our Women in Tech Awards in May, and then our Entrepreneurs Conference in June. So it's a really busy calendar of big events. We also have a Voices of Leadership conference that some of you may be aware of, and in April this year, it was our international conference. It was held at Queen's, and we were delighted to host Hillary Clinton, Cherie Blair, and Mary McAleese at that. So we're going to be having an international conference every other year, so it's not on the schedule for next year, but you can look forward to that in 2025. Thanks, Padraig. So now over to Roisin, who's going to tell you a little bit more about our entrepreneurship program, Yes You Can.
Hi everyone. So Yes You Can is a program which is now running in its 5th year, and we've been very lucky to be able to find funding to run this. I know for entrepreneurs it's difficult, very much for people who are starting up to have the money to pay to go to things, and I know some of our other services there are fees, because obviously there's all the costs of the trainers and facilitators. So really lucky that we've been able to mostly run this for free. So just to very quickly run through, and I know for many of you might think this is not really relevant to me if you're in jobs, but however, you know, you just never know when you're talking to somebody, you're out with friends, you're out with family, and somebody's talking about an idea. So it's really nice to know you could direct them to this or direct them to us and the entrepreneurship team to see how we can help them. So imagine it is a 1-day boot camp for any woman who just wants to think about an idea, that very early stage it can be, or they may already have started doing a wee bit. And it's really meeting with a whole lot of other women. There's usually about 20-25 women in the room, and we work through a lot of stuff, discussing your idea, the challenges, meeting some already successful entrepreneurs. And generally people leave that day feeling really motivated and feeling they know what actions they can take. So we recently ran one in Craigavon, we ran one up in Causeway, we have one in Belfast on the 7th of September, and then we have another one in Dungannon on the 18th of October. So they're open for registration and there's no cost for those. Then Explored is a 5-month startup program. So that's when you're a bit more serious about it. You're prepared to put in a bit of time because you are intending to start. And we currently have 2 of those running, so they're closed. They're running in Lisburn and Antrim, but we have another one starting, and it's going to be run in Dungannon Enterprise Centre, and it's currently open and it's recruiting. Closing date is the end of August, but we're going to just assess people as they come through. So if you know of somebody who has an idea, and I think there was maybe a couple of people on who are maybe launching a business, or You know, if you think that might be right, or if you just want to chat to see is it right for you, feel free to give me a buzz. So that's 5 months long. We have in that, like, there is like 6 training sessions on business startup stuff. Then there's 2 digital marketing ones. There's evening sessions. You're part of a group. There's lots of networking, a whole lot of stuff. And it's all there. You can see it on our website, and there's a nice wee video you can watch too. Then Planet is a new element that we're going to launch soon. And that is where they're going to be one-day masterclasses for women who are running their business. Really, ideally for people who are trading in a couple of years will get the most value out of that. And they're going to be one-day specialist masterclasses with consultants who we have used before. The first 4 we're planning to run is strategy, one on branding and marketing, one on communications and the media, and one on selling. And I'm just scheduling those at present. We will be putting a little bit of a charge onto those, but it will not be anywhere near the commercial value or price that you would see out in the open market. Grow It is a program we ran last year, and we ran two cohorts, each with 16 women on them. They were tended to be, last year, the criteria was to have a turnover of 50 grand plus. We haven't finalized the criteria for this year. We will be starting those October and November time. One of them may be an all island program. We're just currently still securing our funding for those. That's a 6-month long program. Absolutely amazing impact on the businesses who participated in that. And again, lots of specialized training, consultants, lots of meeting up with the other entrepreneurs, and it is a really superb growth experience for the participants. Is competitive to get onto, and there is an application form and a sort of a one-to-one sort of chat interview. And then Review It is something we're just going to bring in, where we're just going to have a monthly mentoring clinic, just so that you could have a sort of discovery call with a mentor, looking at your business, and if there's any direction or signposting that you need, that we can provide that. And that will be free for one session initially. So we'll see how that goes. There's lots of other things as well happening in entrepreneurship. Like, we have a Entrepreneurship Connect event. The next one of those is Tuesday the 12th of September, and we have Grania Kelly from Bubble Bum, who is absolutely amazing and very entertaining, coming along to talk. And but it's also business group discussions and lots of networking. And as well, you know, a lot of the things that we do, there is an entrepreneurship focus. Like the Makers is an entrepreneurship focus, and we run a marketing meetup group, which would have a lot of entrepreneurs, because to be honest, if you're running your business, you're having to do marketing. So there's lots of things like that. And I would just say on those, we've had some nice sessions in those videos that Margarita was talking about. There's a really nice one on TikTok. If you look for it, there's a good recording, which was by Vava. The LinkedIn one is very good. There's also 4 sessions there on finance. If you're looking at grants, debt, borrowing, equity investment, there's 4 there on finance, which we're all just done in June, and they're all available through our website and our YouTube. So have a wee look for those. And there was a nice one as well Lisa Strutt did, which is really relevant for everybody, about networking. Really nice. Just how do you network, and how do you walk into that room, and what do you do if you have nobody to speak to? So there's really nice practical tips. So it's a nice one to watch some evening if you're sitting on the sofa and just want to have a wee scan of it. So that's the key things really in terms of entrepreneurship. But we are very much developing and looking for ideas of what more we should be doing to support our local women in Northern Ireland.
Thank you, Roisin. And again, I think you can get a sense of just the huge amount of opportunities for you in the entrepreneurship space, whether it's an idea you have, or whether you're growing your business, or maybe you just know someone who's looking for that. Thanks, Roisin. Next up is Centre of Learning, and we'll hand over to Nikki.
Yes, so the Centre of Learning, it's basically a suite of bespoke programs that we run with industry leading experts, and it's really focused around what you, our members, say that you're looking for in terms of support, as well as some of the common challenges that we're seeing in the workplace today. So we have a huge range of programs. We have a mix of in-person and virtual, because we know some people actually quite nice sometimes being in your jammies whilst you're all getting some training, as well as some in-person training as well. So there are different lengths of time as well. So a couple of examples, I'll not go through each of them, but our Empowering Women in Leadership program and Impactful Communication, they're 4-part programs where you really get materials in between, so you can kind of have that reflection time as well as continuing your learning. And it's covering a lot of the topics that we are continuing to see with our surveys, and whenever we're speaking to members, like how you adopt those assertive behaviors, how you handle those difficult conversations so you don't avoid them and you can really master them, and how you really, you know, have that leadership presence as well. We always, as I say, there's a plane in the background, so apologies you can hear that. We always take the feedback on board. So even with the Young Women's Network, Excel training was something that was raised. So as soon as we knew there was a demand there and people were hoping to get some Excel training, we introduced some of those programs as well, at different levels. So if you're a bit like me and Excel gives you the fear, and the whole auto sum everything is a dread, then we've got Excel Essentials and we have Advanced Excel, and they're 2 half-day virtual sessions. We have inclusive leadership. That's really something maybe to mention to your colleagues. That's open for everyone, so men and women. Because we're really, you know, we're all about creating an inclusive economy. So we really want to get people in the room together to have those conversations and learn a little bit more about, you know, the likes of micro behaviors, unconscious bias, and different areas like that. So that's really exciting that we're going to be running in November. A big one for us is the resilience program. So that's a 1-day program as well, and it's a really good opportunity. All of the programs are to get away from the daily grind of work and actually step away and be able to have conversations with women from completely different industries and backgrounds and realize that there's a lot of common themes that come through. So I know many of us might feel we have that imposter syndrome, or those kind of moments where you maybe want to go for promotion or you want to do that presentation, but you're telling yourself that, oh, you know, someone else would be better. So it's really being able to get in the room, realize that other people have those challenges, and how you can get the tools and techniques to kind of overcome those imposter moments and the inner critic. So that's a great program as well. Anyone who is on maternity leave or has recently returned, we have a 3-month maternity returners program, and our lovely colleague Christine was on it as well, and it's really opportunity to kind of be able to get back into work and, you know, as well as receive coaching. Our mentoring program is our longest standing program. It's up to 12 months of mentoring support, and we always have a great mix of business owners and individuals who are within corporate organizations. It's full for October, but we have got places for January, and Maria will shout at me if I don't mention that we're always looking for more mentors. So if you're, you know, a bit more experienced or senior within your field and you'd love to give back, then we would love to hear from you as well, because I think a big part of the Women in Business Network is really the connection and being able to support one another. Of course, we've got Equipping Managers, which is all about emotional intelligence, how to have one-to-one conversations, and you know, how you can like learn more about your team and their communication style as well as your own, presenting courses, and we've most recently introduced Influence and Negotiating with Confidence, which again was based on what feedback we were getting in the last couple of months. So I always love to hear from you. If there's more training you'd like to see, if there's any topics you would just love to get a bit of support on, do reach out to myself, Denise, or Maria, because we'd always love to hear from you. If you have any questions at all about the current training or you'd like to book on, you can get in touch with us. And I think a couple of you actually on today or potentially have been on a couple of programs, so it's great to see. So that's really the overview of the programs, but do watch this space because there will be more exciting news coming, as Denise mentioned, in the coming months as we do a big launch. So thanks, Padraig. Next slide. So I also just wanted to mention the Press Refresh program. You may have seen this across our social media channels. This is really a free training program. It's 5 weeks of part-time training on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And it's really for women who are potentially not in work currently due to like caring responsibilities, whether it be looking after the kids or elderly parents. potentially people who are working up to 16 hours or working part-time or in voluntary work. And I really wanted to mention this because we're all about supporting as many people and as many women across Northern Ireland as we can. So if you do know anyone who is potentially out of work at the moment or looking to re-enter the workplace, we have this Press Refresh Career Reboot programme, which is starting in September. So applications are closing at the end of August, so on the 25th of August. It's really straightforward application. It's more so we can understand a little bit more about who's applying, and you know, there's just very basic eligibility criteria. But I would really encourage you, if you know anyone, maybe it be a close family relative, a friend, an ex-colleague, anyone that you think that maybe would benefit from the programme, where they're basically going to be getting some interview support, CV skills, training, confidence, resilience, and they'll also achieve an ILM level 3 in leadership and management. There is also a training allowance, which I always think is helpful, especially for the travel, because it will be in Belfast. But if you know of anyone, we would love to hear from them, and do reach out to myself, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. But do please spread the word, and hopefully I will see some of you in the breakout rooms shortly. So thanks very much.
Thank you, Nikki. Podrick, could you just close the slides, please, so we can see each other again? So a bit of a whistle-stop tour to everything we have on offer, and I'm sure there's things we haven't spoken about as well, but I think it gives you a sense of the breadth of the opportunities. So before we go on to networking, does anyone have any questions, anything? And feel free, be brave. You can put your question in the chat. You can virtually put your hand up in the on the screen, or you can physically put your hand up as well. So any questions, any comments? No, we covered everything. I'm just checking to see that no one's got their hands up and I can't see it. No, okay, all good. Well, if you do have any and you want to discuss them in the breakout rooms, you can do that too. So we're going to move on now and do a little bit of networking in some small breakout rooms, and there'll be a Women in Business host in every room. But before we do that, we want to get a bit of a feel for what people think about networking. I can actually just see a question coming in the chat, and I would like to answer it. So there's a question there. Let me just try and find it. Have you got plans for networking for small businesses to get together? We absolutely do. So 12th of September, Entrepreneurs Connect, which Roisin mentioned, that is the event for you to come together. So you can find that on our website, and we would love to see you there. And it's through that Entrepreneurs Connect where we bring just entrepreneurs together. Our regular Just Connect events that are held monthly, you'll find women from all backgrounds like that, which is equally important. But if you just want to be connecting with entrepreneurs, come to Entrepreneurs Connect. Okay, so we're going to have a quick poll to see how you feel about networking. So Podrick, if you could show the poll. Okay, so question 1, how comfortable are you with networking? Extremely, it's my favorite thing to do. Sometimes, it depends on the setting and people. Not really, but I will if I have to. Not at all, I would rather walk on hot coals. Let's see. Do votes. And then the second question is actually, how important is it for you? So extremely to not at all. And we'll just see. I always think this is so interesting, even in the team, to see how they feel. So I'll just give a couple more seconds for people to answer the question. Okay, we'll close that now. So we've got a few people who absolutely love networking, so that's brilliant to see. Most of you are in that sometimes category, and to be honest, that's exactly where I sit. It really does depend on the setting and the people and my mood, probably. And a couple of you who not really, but nobody who would rather walk on hot coals, which is great to see. But how interesting, for most of you, it is extremely important. And certainly for nearly everyone, very or extremely important. And I think that's what we know, and that's why we're here to help. And I guess quite before we move into rooms, it's interesting to reflect on the team, and I'll pick on Nikki. Nikki, what's your response there? How much Do you like networking, and how important is your job?
I know, I was hoping that I was intrigued to see if anyone would hit the hot coals, because earlier I was thinking, oh, that I've definitely had my moments of pure dread whenever it comes to networking. You know, if you go to a networking event and there's food, that's where I am. I'm at the corner, safely tucked away, just filling my face. So it actually makes it quite hard to talk to people as well. I think I use that as a safety technique. And I do think sometimes it's just the fear of, what do I say? Or, oh, am I going to interrupt someone's conversation, or what will they think? But I think, and I can see Sinead, you're nodding your head, so I'm glad I'm not alone in that. But I think that's it. I think the more you go to, you know, events and you network, it does take the fear away a bit, because you start to see familiar faces, and you always spot someone who is like yourself, who's maybe by the food or by the very corner of the room, or still holding their bag. And they're usually the people I think that you can go to. So I guess it's good to know that we're a network, but I think a few of us in the team get that kind of fear with networking, and it's completely normal. And as soon as you talk to people, you're like, why was I nervous about it? Because it's the best way to be able to get to know one another as well.
Thanks, Nikki. And I think that is so true. We all have our tactics, whether it's food or looking at your phone or going to the toilet, but all normal. But because we do know it is so important, we try and make networking as easy for you as possible. So if not all of our events, the majority, we will have facilitated networking to make it easy for you, so you don't have to necessarily go up to people that you don't know. We'll do that for you. We'll put you in a group, and we'll make it feel as comfortable as possible, so that you soon all kind of tick in the extremely comfortable box. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go into 8 breakout rooms. So there'll be a few of us in each, and we're going to have 10 minutes. There'll be a women in business host, and we're just going to introduce ourselves and have a little chat about how long you've been with Women in Business, if you've been to any events before, why you joined, just a nice informal chat, so you can have the opportunity to meet a couple of other people better. And we'll come back here in 10 minutes, just shortly before 11, so we can finish on time. Thanks, Broderick. I don't know about you.
We were all cut off in our prime there.
I was just saying, we were hearing a brilliant story from Gabby, which was amazing. And I have to let's have a shout out to Gabby. Where's Gabby? In my sea of faces, there you are, Gabby, who works for Concentrix, and Gabby won the innovation award at the Women in Business Awards in March this year, which was incredible. And her husband had the camera and didn't press the video record. So I think we would have that on video for you, Gabby. So we'll check that out. I'm sure he wasn't popular for a little while, but
yeah, just for a little while, yes.
Such a brilliant accolade for you, Gabby. I'm delighted. Well, listen, it was a whistle-stop tour of Women in Business, as well as the opportunity to network, but we really wanted to get to know you a bit better today, but equally for you to get to know us, and I really hope you have. We've just got a minute left, so we want to finish with a bit of inspiration, and who better to inspire us than Hillary Clinton, who was with us in April, and she challenged us in a lovely way. So we want to share that with you and get you thinking about challenging yourself and competing in your career.
And then it was a young woman at an event in New York City in the spring of 1998, I guess? No, 99, spring of 1999. And I was at an event, and it was to honor women athletes. And the name of a documentary that had been done about women athletes was called Dare to Compete. So I was there with Billie Jean King and other famous women athletes. And this woman, young woman, who was the captain of, I think, the basketball or the volleyball team, very, dynamic young woman, introduces me. And I go up to the podium and have to look up at her and shake her hand and then thank her for the introduction. She leans over and whispers in my ear, "Dare to compete, Mrs. Clinton, dare to compete." And all of a sudden I thought, wow, man, has she called me out? And I go around saying, women need to be in the arena. I support all these women running for office, women starting businesses, women climbing to the heights of their profession. Maybe I'm scared. And I was, to be honest. I'd never done anything like that before, and it was hard. So, you know, you just have to be honest with yourself, but that shouldn't discourage you. It should open you up to looking for, you know, the answers that are right for you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Padraig. Look, I love that. I hope you were equally inspired as I was by that. You can turn the slides off there, Padraig, so we can just have one last look at each other. Yeah, just to give you some inspiration, your day ahead, year ahead, and really your engagement with women in business. Thanks so much for coming today. Keep in touch, and we look forward to seeing you at a future event.